But yeah, you were the first person that I took to the gym with me.
That was a real privilege and an honor right
That was
there.
a big
Yeah,
deal.
it was. I really invaded personal space. That
That's
was,
where the sausage is made, right?
yeah, that was it. And then I still got the picture, and I ain't posted, but I might one day, right?
Yeah.
I got the picture where you got your signature on the wall.
My name's on the board.
Yeah. I got
That
that
is when
picture.
that gym destination just, I don't know if it just opened, but that's really when all of the big bodybuilders were working out of that gym. And so there's other names up there. And so, I was within my first year of training.
Yeah.
So I got my little name up there. My little date under there. I think I did it on my birthday.
Yeah, the date,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
That's why I love that picture. I love that picture. I got that picture, then of course I got the selfie. I need the selfie.
Oh yes, of course.
I put the selfie one out, and then the other one I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely some good times.
It was magnificent. Yeah, my memory bank is rich because of it.
Yeah, we've had many awesome calls too.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Yeah, I think when I work with creators, it's like we have an agenda.
Yeah.
And we all have and we enjoy what we do, but it's like we still have to keep going.
Yeah.
And so, to have a dynamic and a relationship with you outside of that, it's fantastic because there's a lot of parts of your world I have no idea of.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's super cool because I can ask you questions that I wouldn't feel comfortable asking other people.
Yeah, nothing's off limits with me.
Yeah, because I don't have to do that with you.
Fearless dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because you can't, some people just really wear emotions on their sleeve. But like me knowing a person's intent, it's no way you can offend me.
Yeah.
Because I know your intent wouldn't be that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't care how you worded it.
Yeah.
Knowing this is a genuine question from genuine interest.
Yeah, it's refreshing.
It is.
That's the right word for that.
Even if you don't necessarily agree, that's here nor there. It's cool just to hear the different perspectives.
Yeah. So then I shared things from my perspective, and I would have never seen that.
I wouldn't have been afforded those perspectives without having that healthy space to discuss.
So how did you get into
I have a lifestyle background, right?
Okay.
I was lifestyle before I knew the terms. That was pre-prison and then post-prison. So I did a lot of years in prison.
Yeah.
And then content came shortly after prison.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anybody kind of back out when you share your story with them? Pretty much.
No, but I'm gonna tell you why, in my opinion. So with the criminal history, it can be a gift and a curse, for lack of a better term, in certain situations. Because me, you know me, I respect it or reject it either way. You take it or leave it, this is me. If you reject it, I'm fine with it. If you cool with it, let's get it, right? But some people, if they hear about it prior, then you get the preconceived notion. And then that may run somebody off. Now, if that took place, I wouldn't be aware of that because that was never brought to my attention, right? But now that's the curse part of it. The gift part of it is, if somebody enters a conversation with me, even if it's just for 50 seconds, like the elevator pitch, right? They get enough sense of my vibe, my tone, my energy, my character. Then if they hear about it, because I don't hide it, and any question could lead me to it at any given time, it becomes more of an intrigue. Now it's like, hold up, you did how much time? For what? How much time you got? We can unfold this story, come on the journey with me, right? So, yeah, no, to answer your question, to my knowledge, no, it hasn't.
I find that when I'm vulnerable to people or when I share something about myself, it allows other people then to open up as well. They feel more safe, more comfortable.
Correct.
Right? Do you find that with other guys? If you have the conversation, that comes out, your truth comes out, do they ever come back with something? Is that common?
With men,
or is that just a girl thing?
I think, so now it's like the Venus versus Mars part dynamic.
Yeah.
Because with
These are the type of conversations we have.
Yeah, so men, not so much, because a lot of us are still infected by the illusion of the hypermasculine male, right? So sometimes what you'll run into is people not willing to open up because of giving that vulnerability. And then you'll have the man with the subconscious ego drive that'll think, maybe he thinks macho than me. So he may either think of a story to try to outdo it, or he might just never mind it altogether and kind of leave it alone. He might kind of withdraw a little bit. I've ran across that more so.
Well, it's much safer.
Yeah.
Let's just put that up.
And even if they've been around me a little longer, open up. But initially, it's either like oh, okay, well, you went to, or they just go close. Women, on the other hand, tend to be unwilling to be vulnerable with me. Yeah, that's.
Well, there's not many, from a woman's point of view, there's not many men like you. That you don't hide things. You sit down and explain things. You know,
Right.
I think that is vulnerability.
Yeah, because I say all that to say I've always been an open book. It's got me a lot further with being able to connect with people on different levels.
So connecting, you've done stuff outside of the industry, outside of prison life, and you've done the theater work you did.
Oh, yeah, the nonprofit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came about because in prison, I learned a lot of conflict tends to come from immaturity, because conflict resolution tends to end in violence, right? But if you think about it, a little kid can do that. He don't, or she don't have his way. She throw a tantrum, break the toy, and you know. So that's easy to say, oh, well, you disagree with me. I don't like how you're talking. Boom, boom, bow. That's, you know, that's a real childish mind that I used to possess too. So then I'm like, okay, if this person, if I could get him or her in a space where they can just listen, and then I can talk to them in a tone that's not demeaning, degrading, or insulting, we can reach understanding, because we would have more common ground than we would have differences, right? So I say all that to say, at that point, I learned storytelling conveys a message strongly to those who may not be privy to even wanting to hear your story to begin with. Yeah, so what we did was, because it was me and 4 or 5 other guys, we put on plays, and we would use street tales loosely based around characters that we all would see. Like, you always got the fast talking drunk in the neighborhood. You always got the stick up man. And we would incorporate all these characters and stories, and we would have other inmates play them in hopes that when they play these characters, they can see the error in the train of thought of the character, and then turn around and look in the mirror and self-assess and do the same. And it just so happened, in doing that, we started entering competitions on the outside. Like, we had writing competitions, creative writing competitions, poetry competitions, play competitions, where you just sit in scripts.
This is something we don't ever hear about that.
Yeah, no, you
No,
don't.
we don't hear.
Yeah.
That's never what I hear about on the news.
Yeah, no, they don't showcase that, right? But and I noticed even then, the culture in the prison was altered with view some of us. Because it was like, now that it's something that they can watch and be entertained and touched by it, it's like you're more human now. Now it's like, oh, you know, when you was trying to write me a ticket or send me to the hole, oh, he's not so bad after all. But it's only because you've been able to see a story that you can relate to, because everybody's been through struggle, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that was the aim, but ended up getting a little bigger than even we had imagined it would.
Yeah.
So fast forward, when I came home from prison, we had reestablished that as a nonprofit. Yeah.
So is it still happening in prison? Is it still being held? Practice.
So COVID was like the perfect reason to pull the plug, but now we're starting to get it built and put in certain prisons in Illinois. So yeah, but that's my contribution back to the community, because I feel like the years I spent unconsciously destroying it, I need to be able to outdo that by consciously building.
And helping people understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she was a survivor. Minimum wage, right? So that's what this whole thing is like being able to connect and to truly understand.
Connect and understand?
Yeah. And that goes way past, and in my book was the language of the heart. That's what that is. Yeah.
It's the same process of kind of unlearning to relearn.
Yeah.
And I give props to people who can do it without prison, because I had to go through prison and I can't sit here and look at you with a straight face and confidently say I would have went to that evolution without having that time, without society's distractions.
Yeah.
You know, when you can kind of focus in on self. A lot of people going in, I took that time out to self-assess and build. Wow.
I think I was fortunate enough to get sober.
Yeah.
So when I got sober, they said people, places, and things had to change. And at that point, now